It's February 24th, 2025, and time for your Monday market update. Thanks for watching. Well, I'm back from Las Vegas and our Keller Williams Family Reunion, our big national conference that we have every year in February. Lots of great information shared with us from Gary Keller with his vision speech and the future of what we can expect for economics and for our housing market for this year. Before we dive too much into that, let's take a quick look at your McHenry County numbers for the last 7 days. We had 90 new listings, 123 under contract, 67 closed sales, 31 price changes, 2 expireds, and 31 on the private network. So we have very low closed sales. Now it is February. It's the last week of February. We have our housing market really kicked off after the Super Bowl, which was just a couple of weeks ago. So, it's still February. We're seeing the momentum picking up going into March. March will be a huge month for us. We've got more listings coming. We do anticipate more inventory hitting the market. Though one of the things to keep in mind is that over 74% of mortgages have rates of 5% or less. So that is something we've talked about before. People who are locked in at that lower rate, it's going to be really hard for them to be incentivized to move or to sell their home and lose their low rate. So that is always going to be affecting our housing market and how many people are going to be listing their homes. So we expect that we'll have a lot of the same. So this year, 2025, is going to be very similar to 2024. Very slowly, our market will continue to improve as more and more people move and less people have those low interest rates. Now, something that came out in the news last week in Illinois is that there is a new bill being proposed that will allow people who have owned their home for more than 30 years to not pay property taxes anymore. That is not going to help the situation. That is going to make things worse. Because if you've owned your home for more than 30 years and now you don't have to pay any property taxes, are you going to be very incentivized to sell your home? No. So that could make things even worse here in Illinois. So we don't know if that's going to pass. Let's hope it doesn't. The geniuses in Springfield are at work again. And if that passes, we could be up against some different hurdles just in the state of Illinois, making it even more of a reason of why you'd want to leave. But if you have no property taxes, that might make you want to stay. Maybe that's why, because they don't want people leaving the state of Illinois anymore. We know that we have a huge population every single year leaving our state, and maybe that's one incentive to try and get people to stay here. But anyway, I digress. We do not have a whole lot of new inventory at the moment. We have more homes going under contract than we had newly listed. So our inventory, we're not really getting anywhere yet. Hopefully, we will have more and more people deciding that it's just time to move as the months tick by. I know I'm talking to a lot of people, they're locked in at a low rate, but for some people, they just still need to move. They need a bigger home. They need a ranch. They need more space for their kids or whatever it is. They need a neighborhood. They need different schools, whatever it may be, the things that are factoring into people moving, those things are still happening. So as someone leaves a 3% interest rate and picks up a 7% interest rate, that is going to allow us to get further and further along with people not being quite so locked into those low mortgages. So that is just going to continue to happen. So this statistic of 74% of people being locked in at 5% or below, that will eventually become less and less of a piece of the pie so that we have more and more people that aren't locked into that. So that will help. But for the time being, that's kind of where we're just going to live. We also are hoping that our interest rates will come down as the year progresses. But right now, we've got a lot of question marks in our economy. Our trade policy in this country is going to greatly impact our housing market. So if we have these widespread tariffs, which may or may not happen, we'll see what will happen with our housing market. But if we end up with tariffs on Canada, that will make housing more expensive. If we see large amounts of people being deported, that will affect our labor market. We will have a lot more job openings. So we will just have to see how that all pans out as the year progresses. Right now, our mortgage rates are holding really steady. We do have a big reading from CPE. Numbers are coming out on Friday. We're hoping that will show that inflation is coming down. If that happens, then we could see interest rates start to come down. But we're probably just going to kind of live between 6.5 and 7.5 for the foreseeable future. Now, if those rates do come down to 6.5 as we head into the spring market, that would be great. It'd be great for buyers, but that will make it more competitive, obviously. So without a huge influx of supply, that is just going to make prices probably go up even more than they already have. So if you have any questions about this, of course, always please call me. I'm at 815-529-0777. I always welcome your questions and any of your comments and your concerns. Hopefully I can help you ease some of those. Have a great rest of your Monday. Bye-bye.